Welcome back, bub. You might notice my clothes are the same, but that's going to be a typical trait here on the channel. I don't have time to worry about that shit. And I don't think I'm supposed to swear within the first 30 seconds for YouTube reasons, and I squashed that. I'm not going to edit it because I just don't have time. And this is a follow-up video. It's coming right after the illegal immigration basically being celebrated here in Maine. I'll leave the link at the end so you can watch it. I've just profoundly been impacted lately after being on YouTube since October 14th. It's not that long, but I have quite a few videos that are out, and I have been pretty vocal, and I've gotten mostly good feedback, but I've gotten some bad feedback. And I don't know, just this past weekend, I'm filming this on the 22nd of January 2024. This past weekend, I just kind of had doubts. Like, who am I? I mean, here I am on YouTube being vocal, and I'm calling into question those leading me and leading us. But who am I? I mean, I'm very vocal, I'm very opinionated. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that. I do try to remain neutral in a lot of cases, but there comes points where I don't think it suits us anymore to be silent when the majority isn't being represented. And so I had my doubts, and I just really felt no self-confidence, and I was just really despairing, just reveling in misery. And I think that happens to a lot of us when we get stuck on ourselves and when we're not thinking as a whole. Because as soon as I got back to work, and as soon as I started talking to coworkers and friends, it's not just me that's feeling it. We are all feeling that. And it gets crippling at points. And it gets, this internal voice just gets nauseatingly loud, saying, who am I? Who am I to question the narrative, to oppose those in charge, to question the elites? Who am I? And then I get back to normal everyday society, and I look around, and so many people are just like me. But so many people are afraid to speak up, and my problem is I just don't know when to shut up. So you combine the two. I represent the average, here in Maine at least, represent the average blue-collar Mainer. I don't know how to shut up. Average Mainers need someone to speak up. So personally, who am I? I'm no one special. And that's kind of the point. I'm no one special. I am an everyday average Mainer. Right, bub? That's you, that's me. There doesn't need to be anything special about us. Why do I need to have gone to an Ivy League school? Why do I need to have a doctorate? Why do I need to have some fluffy, high-paying desk job in order to make an impact in my state? Why can people from other states come into Maine and represent Maine better than an average Mainer like myself could? I don't get it. And I don't understand people questioning others these days. Well, who are you? Well, Shenna Bellows has lawyers all around her. You're not a lawyer. I do have a paralegal's degree, and I do further study every day, all the time. I am constantly studying. We are in an age of self-made experts. And why the hell not? Why should you and I not have all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the education as those lofty SOBs allegedly above us? Why? They were probably partying and paying people to study for them while they were in school. There is a high degree probability that you and I, on average, are more intelligent and more connected with reality than those allegedly leading us. And they're not really leading us, they're destroying us. One and all. Elephant, donkey. One and all, they are damning us. At this point, we need new leadership. We need to stop voting the way that we have. We need to entirely reevaluate. What does the future look like successfully in our own minds? And how can we make sure that that is more of a reality? How can we have a cohesion to it? How can we coexist? Because we are the 50 states. We are the United States of America. So we need to figure out ways to coexist. Life in Hawaii is going to be much different than life in Vermont. Life here in Maine is going to be much different than life in Arizona. But we are the 50 states of America. So we need to remember that, because it seems like civil war is closer than ever before. And that is terrifying. Because division now would destroy us as a nation. And it would destroy what we've been working towards these last 200, 400 years, where we've really tried to help and show the world that there is a way. But communism doesn't like capitalism. And capitalism is so damned these days. But it's not capitalism people are pissed at. It is corporatism that people are pissed at. Capitalism, a free market society, is the only way. Realistically, it is the only way. Communism doesn't like that. Communism doesn't like freedom. Communism wants to regulate everything. In China, if you want to sell necklaces and you don't have if you haven't registered and you don't have the paperwork, you cannot sell necklaces. Not even to your fucking niece. To no one. You can't do it. Don't. Not in China. Capitalism, though, if a little girl or a grown-ass man like myself makes something like this and wants to sell it to whomever we fucking want, it is allowed. I need to pause because my dog is going crazy with my fiance home. Now that my Yeti down yonder has been subdued, I can continue my stream of consciousness thought. This rolled off of the last video about illegal immigration, which I will tie to at the end of this video. And it just kind of spurred my thoughts. No particular headline in general, but just what is happening? What does the future look like? At 33, I'm not too thrilled about the trajectory of where we're headed. Luckily, I got to enjoy I got to enjoy all of my 20s. But it's almost a curse, too, because I got to taste something that's no longer there. These younger generations, they never got to taste it, so... But they're also damned because they saw it, they heard it, they thought it was going to be a reality, and now it's not. And so much of what's happening around us seems like it can only be happening intentionally. I know I was just talking about capitalism and communism, but this is all connected. It's just America is under attack, whether it's been vocalized or not. Freedom, democracy, our constitutional republic, our individual liberties, capitalism, it's all under attack. It is all under attack by governments around the globe that want to control everything. And you look at the push for one world, anything, government, language, currency, rules, no country lines. Like, it's all one world. And that is scary AF. Capitalism, the American dream, we stand as the last bastion to that. Communism is coming. It's here. It's at our threshold. If we don't smarten up, open our eyes, and start speaking up and using our freedom of speech and freedom of expression right now, while we still have a modicum of it, it's literally going to be ripped from our hands. And this past weekend, I just kept questioning, like, who am I? Like, I'm wagging my finger at those in charge, but who am I? I mean, honestly, who am I? And it really got to me, and I think it gets to you too. I think we need to start being honest about that with one another, but also confronting why this is happening. And for me, it's because I feel like I don't have control in my life. Like, when I open up the news and I see what's happening with Maine spending, and I see what else is going on with American tax dollars, I'm like, I didn't know. No, stop. I'm so uncomfortable right now. I'm so uncomfortable. Please stop, please. But when you say those words, please stop, and like, I don't feel comfortable, like, can we please question this, and those aren't respected, it's terrifying territory. So, this is just a thought-provoking video that I want to get philosophy in this channel. That is something deep with me, whether it resonates with you or not. Hopefully I can captivate your attention for a little while and just get you to think for yourselves, because we need to start not just following the norms and actually evaluating things for ourselves. Keeping everything as a whole, because collectively we are a species, the human species. So just as butterflies flock together, and just as flamingos and caterpillars and all that stuff, like, humans are meant to as well. And so just kind of ask yourself what you can do today that's a little bit different than yesterday, that you could possibly be making a better impact or trying to create the future you want to see. And here in America, it's freedom. Freedom. As long as you don't come for me, I don't come for you, we're all good. Don't hurt me, don't hurt anyone else, and you're basically free to do you. But we need to uphold that for everyone, whether you agree with what your neighbor is saying or not. You have to stand up and say, hold up. I don't particularly agree with him. In fact, most of the time we get into fights. We end up drinking a beer afterwards, though, but you don't get to tell him what he can and can't say, just like you can't tell me what I can and can't say, and he should stand up and say the same thing for you. We have to support that. That is what freedom is. Freedom is ugly. Freedom can be ugly. And I kind of want to do a philosophical explorative on freedom and what that looks like. And maybe I'll just roll off at the back of this one. I don't know. But I think I'm going to cut it here just to keep this one short as the first kind of branch. Just where are we going? And doesn't matter who I am, doesn't matter who you are, or are our voices important? And should we start speaking up? Because there comes a point when I don't think it matters. And to be honest, I would almost rather an average blue collar worker in America, in Maine, ruling or creating rules or in Congress for me than I do people that are from out of state, that have gone to Ivy Leagues, or that have some career history in the halls of the government. I don't trust it. I would trust the blue collar hard worker over the other. And I think it's time for you to ask yourselves that same question, because we're in an age of self-made experts. If you don't know something, you have the ability to look it up in a moment's notice. And you have to weed through some information, but you always had to weed through information. Even books back in the day, scrolls, even before that. Someone's opinion wasn't everything. You had to fact check, you had to weed through biases, you had to check different perspectives. Sometimes you were left with just one, so you had to work with what you were given and formulate your own kind of psychological hypothesis based on an individual and where they came to certain conclusions where that may not have been the objective truth. So it's just time for the silent majority to start mumbling, murmuring, and questioning. And let me know if you think I don't represent average Mainers or average Americans, because in my opinion, the opinions of the average people around me, I'm right on board with. So comment down below and let me know your thoughts, because this is an important topic and I think it's something that we should all be looking and questioning just a little bit. All right, until next time, bub, have a good night.